welcome to episode 38 of Nickel O's World podcast. Welcome, welcome. I am going to let you know, since it's been almost 3 weeks since I recorded, it may be a long episode, so I am letting you know now. If you are a new viewer checking me out for the first time, thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity, and I hope you subscribe and come back for another week. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much, as always, for coming back another week with me. Alright, I know you guys know I have been absent for almost 3 weeks, and the boils down to my grandma is still having a hard time with retirement, and I had to explain to her why I do the podcast. So, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I posted that I was thinking about quitting. Well, thanks to some very wonderful friends from the internet and in real life, thank you so much for being there and listening to me and even just praying for me. It has helped tremendously in all aspects, and I have since explained to my grandma why I podcast, so I am going to continue. Yay! Alright, you guys have noticed my lovely co-host here. I will explain him in a minute. So, you're going to go and go over there for a little bit so that I can chat with the people, okay? Alright. Okay. So, let's grab your favorite beverage of choice and let's get started. I am drinking some Lady Grey tea today by Twinings in a new to you cup, you guys. I bought this about a month ago at a church yard sale. It is a Japanese lady, and you guys are not going to believe how much I paid for this. 10 cents. Can you believe it? 10 cents. That's crazy. But it went to a good cause, so I didn't mind. This is what it looks like. I do not read or speak Japanese, so I don't know what that says. But I think she's positively cute. I have another one similar to it that maybe you guys will see next week in the podcast. Alright. We got some administrati, works in progress. You guys, I got some finished objects. You're not going to believe it. Alright, so let's get started. Administrati, we have a cow going on till September 23rd. It is our summer object or small object along. Yay! I will read quickly. If you're wondering what our summer object along in details, I'm going to tell you guys. I'm so excited about it. You guys are putting some great objects in the thread. Before I go on, I'm probably digressing here, but before I go on, if you're wondering, I have a Rav group for our podcast, Nickel O's World podcast. The group is on Ravelry. Just look it up and come on over and join. Alright. And I don't know if I've said it enough, our site also has a blog. Alright, our cow runs to September 23rd. It must be knit, the objects must be crocheted or knit. You can enter any works in progress that you are currently working on, as long as it fits in with our along. Sorry. Oh, excuse my manners. I'm so sorry, guys. Here are some ideas for the cow. Washcloths, Where's Nicole? Washcloths, dishcloths, tea towels, dish towels or drying towels, however you like to call them, or towels in general. Squares, blocks, scarves, shawlettes, baby booties, bibs, hats, sun hats, socks, mitts, fingerless gloves, ties, bow ties, headbands, toys not bigger than 6 inches. However, I'm not going to measure them as long as they are not like super gigantic, like that they're not like as big as you, or like those stuffed bears or prizes you would get at a carnival, like where they're like practically as big as a human being. They're fine. If you're unsure, just feel free to ask me. I know I was asked if cowls, I hate that word, if neck warmers fit in with the summer object along, and yes, they do. You can dip into other groups as long as it's okay with their rules and guidelines. 1 photo per week of all your works in progress. And, of course, post your finished objects. Now, say that you post, this week you post a picture of work in progress, but you also finish it this week. You can still post a finished object picture in there. All right, I want to say happy belated birthday to anybody that has had a birthday in July, and happy birthday to anybody that has a birthday in August. Yay! And that would include me, you guys. My birthday is this month. My birthday is on the 25th of August. So, yes, I'm excited. Do I have any plans? No. But I was asked by, sorry, I was just looking to make sure she wasn't coming, by my gram, what I want for my birthday. I said knitting needles, of course, because you can never have too many of those, especially interchangeables, yarn, fiber, a spindle, another spindle, patterns. I said you can't go wrong with getting me a pattern, project bags, a subscription to Knitting or Crochet magazine, yeah, just I such stuff like that in general. Of course, Atlantic City. I don't go really to gamble in Atlantic City. I love the boardwalk and the ocean and the shops on the boardwalk. So, yeah. So I said those are some ideas. I said can't go wrong with a project bag or an Oceans bag because I don't have enough Oceans bags. All right. Let's move on. Finished objects. I have some, guys. I have some. All right, I guess I'll bring my little co-host back with me. I want you guys to meet Barry the Cardinal. Say hi, Barry. Hello. How are you? This is Barry. I have been working on Barry since July. He was a test crochet for Talia, Franciscan Gypsy from the Penhook Needles podcast. She designed this cute little guy. I'll show you the back. This is his little tail. And this is what he looks like from the back and the side. I have wanted to show you guys this, you all, since I have been working on him. If you follow me on Instagram, I have probably blown Instagram up with pictures of Barry in my Gram's car. I took him and I put him in the back seat of her car with the seatbelt over him, and I took a picture of it and posted it. And yes, I did drive around that way because I just wanted to see how many people would notice. I posted pictures of him out back and it throughout the house. I think he's just positively cute. I love him. He was such a fun crochet. I encourage all of you to go and buy Talia's pattern, Barry Cardinal. I believe that's what it's called. Let me get it up here for you guys. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. It's called Barry the Cardinal, and it's by Talia. He is so much fun, you guys, to do. So much fun to work up. I did do some slight things different to him. I gave him you can see his eyebrows. His wings, I did not make them immobile. I made them so that I can pose him. I chose to do it that way. And if you're wondering why his head is wonky and funny, like he's like doing like the ACD thing, or nah, 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 nah. Oh God, I just dated myself. If you were born in the 90s, you don't know what I'm talking about. Or if you're born in the 2000s, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, ACDC and all. Just dated myself. I'm getting old. Anyways, I chose to make his head a little bit more wonky and mobile so that I can pose him if I want him to go like that, or if I want him to be like this, like snoozing or looking down or that way. I chose like to make his head a lot more loosey-goosey. If I choose to make it a little bit more stiffer, I can always manipulate the fiber fill. So if you guys, and I recommend you guys buy this pattern or gift it to somebody, and you're wondering why, or if you follow along and you're part of Pinhook Needles and you're wondering why my head and arms are a lot different maybe than you guys or theirs, it's because I chose to make it a lot more looser and freer so that I could do a little bit more. Like, I chose to do it that way. But if I ever want to stiffen it up, I can easily fix that. But I kind of like Barry where I can pose him. And I want to say thank you so much, Talia, for gifting me a pattern. I absolutely am over the moon with it because I love this guy. So thank you so much. I love him. And I am going to be making more. I also plan to make him little outfits. Maybe like for fall and the holidays and all. Because Barry can also be used as decoration for me around the house here for things. And my gram likes them. I also brought up to Talia that maybe we should have a where in the world is Barry, or what is Barry doing? Alright, he's going over there so I can finish showing you guys things. Alright, you guys remember, if you're new, I was working on, sorry, I'm leaning over to get him, the second sock to my vanilla latte socks. And this is a pattern by Virginia Rose Jeans. It's a free pattern on Rav. You guys remember, this is where you saw it the last. I was only here. Well, ta-da! I got a finished sock. Not only do I have a finished sock, but I have a pair. I got a pair. Yo! And if you guys will see, the heels don't... Hang on. Yes, these are horrible sock blockers, but I have yet to buy sock blockers. I made some DIY sock blockers. I saw some, but when I first started knitting socks about a year ago, I was like, I'm not paying $20 for sock blockers, because what if I don't like them? I'll just make my own. So now that I realized I love making socks, I'm going to invest in a pair. Another thing I put on my birthday list, I said to my grandma, sock blockers. As you can see, here's the heel on the first pair. And if you're wondering, I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And here is the heel to the second pair. You can see they are different, and that is quite okay. I like that they're not matchy-matchy. And you will see that the toes are not matchy-matchy. Here's what the first pair looks like, the toe. And here's what the toe looks like here. It's pink. That's okay. They're not matchy-matchy, and I happen to like that they're not matchy-matchy. And these are not going to me. I did originally start to knit this pattern for myself. However, my gram claimed them. My Nana said, let me try it on. And I didn't know if it would fit her because I made it for my foot, which is a size 7.5. And she wears an 8 to an 8.5, and she tried them on. I was more worried because of the heel. But they actually fit her good, and she goes, I like those. These are mine. Now hurry up and make the second one. So after I finished Barry, because I monogamously worked on Barry to get him done, to get the test crochet done. I then picked up my sock pattern, and I sat outside on the front porch with her one evening, and I just started knit from here, and I just was like, I was at the heel, and then I just knit. And she's like, aren't you done yet with that? Hurry up and get it done. So I just kept kind of monogamously knitting on this and got it done. I did a new to me toe shaping. Normally I do kind of like the rounded, I guess it's called rounded toe shaping, the generic, I call it generic toe shaping. I did that, but I did a new to me toe shaping. I did the star toe shaping and decreases, the star toe. I actually happen to like this toe shaping. I think it's very nice. So I can take this locking stitch marker off for now. Okay, so these have not been washed yet, and honestly, I don't block my socks. Wash them, and that's it. If you're wondering about the yarn, this is SRK. You guys can probably repeat this better than I can. Here it is. It's SRK On Your Toes 4-ply sock yarn with aloe vera, 25% nylon, 75% superwash wool, and it is 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, 390 yards, or 360 meters, and it's in the Sunset Print colorway. Here is who makes this. I do not know if you can still buy this color, because I happen to buy this at the yarn at Tuesday mornings, which is kind of like a bargain discount. So here's who makes the yarn, and here's the website. Feel free to go to the website and check it out, because I know I am. I'd love another skein to make myself a pair. And here is the dye lot and the colorway. Sorry. There you go. And I do have some left, but I'm afraid I won't have enough to knit a pair of socks for myself. So here is how much I have left. I normally wear ankle socks, so I might have enough yardage for 2 socks. But I'm not willing to play yarn chicken and find out, because playing yarn chicken is not fun. You usually don't win if you play yarn chicken, so I think I'm going to start and make a barn raising quilt, because I bought the pattern a while back and it's been in my queue, and we'll get to my queue in a minute. I'm trying to get it down, so I may make a 1 or 2 barn raising quilts. Nicole, learn how to talk in words. I may make 2 barn raising squares out of this, or maybe a hat. I don't know, but I definitely know I want to make a square, and maybe I'll get a hat out of this. We shall see. Alright. So, they're finished. And moving right along, I had in my queue for the longest time, and I deem it a popular knit because I've heard it knit among podcasters, the Barley Hat by Tin Can Knits, and I will tell you guys the designer. Hang on. Let me get it up here. Here we go. It is, just says patterns by Tin Can Knits. So this was published back in July of 2013. It's been a popular pattern on Rab, and I've heard a lot of podcasters talking about it. And I had it in my queue for a while, and I was on the fence about knitting, and I'm like, do I really? Nicole, you queued it. You obviously like it. Do you still like it after a year later? Do you still want to do it? And I've seen numerous podcasters making it. I know Steph from Knitting Samurai +1 made one, and she made me fall in love with that hat after seeing the baby hat she made for her son. So, to ensure that I knew I would like the pattern, because I might ooh and ah and oogle over it on a podcast, but I'm like, am I really going to like that in real life? Am I going to want to wear it? Am I going to want to sit there and really knit it? And so I decided to give it a try, and yes, I'm in love with it, and I made one, but I made a baby version of it just to see how I would like it, and here it is. Isn't this the cutest thing? I think it is. It's so darn cute. And I actually used, you guys will remember this orange from Barry's beak. I used the rest of my orange, and if you're wondering what orange I use, it is by Lion Brand. It's their Fun line. It's called Lion Brand Fun. And yes, I kind of played yarn chicken with it. However, as I was knitting it, I picked up the skein, and I'm like, Nicole, you're not going to have enough to make a hat. So suck it up, Buttercup, and figure out what you're going to do with it. I'm like, I want to make an orange hat. I want to use this yarn up. So then I decided, you will notice the black. The black is from Barry's face and feet. I was like, what would go with orange? That I really won't mind if I didn't use it all up at one time. I'm like, what could go? And then I'm like, I'm like, you have black yarn, Nicole, that you keep in your stash. You don't use it that often because black is kind of hard, like, even to crochet with. And I'm like, black and orange go perfect together, Nicole. So that's what I did. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will see Barry posing with it because I don't have, do you call them baby dolls or dolls? Like, little girls. You know what I mean? If you have a daughter, even when you were little, you had the baby, almost like life-size baby dolls you used to carry around. I don't have one to model, so I have to get one. But in the meantime, Barry works, and I put it on Barry because he obviously does not mind. And he was the model for the hat. Would I knit an adult version of the Barley hat? Absolutely. I love it. I love how it has this texture here. If you can wear it in the front, or if you don't want that in the front, you can put it any which way you so choose. So, as far as what am I going to do with the hat, I may keep it to put on Barry just to decorate him for the fall. But I'm also thinking of just donating it, because I'm sure there's a baby out there that really needs to keep his or her head warm this fall. So I'm putting this with my pile of hats that I am knitting and crocheting. Of course, because I have dogs, I have to wash it just like I do all my other stuff. Even if I didn't have dogs, I would still wash it because black gets a hold of everything. All right, moving right along next. I finished something you guys never even seen in my queue. I did this in like a day. Excuse me, allergies, guys. Marlisa from Pinhook Needles podcast crocheted this up, a dish towel up, and I fell in love with it. And I was going to queue it, and it so happened I had it in my queue all along. So I got it out of my queue. This is a free pattern by Lion Brand. It is called Doretha Dish Towel. You guys can see that's what they look like. You can choose any which one that you want. I used my Knit Picks yarn. If you guys watched previously, I was on the fence what to do with my Knit Picks yarn, my dishy. Knit Picks dishy. I was like, I couldn't waste it. I'm like, I can't bear this out of wasting it on the dishcloth because the colors are pretty. I was going to knit a cotton shawl with it, but once I started feeling it, I'm like, nah, I couldn't do it. It wouldn't feel comfortable. Then I thought of knitting or crocheting a tote bag or a market bag with it. I'm like, no. Market bag, yeah, because you want the stretchiness, but not for a handbag for myself. Alright, I will show you guys. I love how this came out, and I'm so glad I chose this yarn for it. Here's what it looks like. You guys can see it. And this was a fun little quick crochet for me. It's a very generous size, as you guys can see. And my gram positively loves this. And if you're wondering, yeah, I have an end that I kind of didn't snip off that I weaved in, but that's okay. It's a dishcloth. I ain't particular if my ends aren't woven in on dish towels and wash rags. But I love this. This is the back. I didn't have many ends to weave in, actually, even for changing colors. And I learned the technique thanks to the crochet crowd and Mikey for showing me what to do. Just hope I get better at it for knitting. Alright, the colors I used. And where is my bag? Oh, it's over here. My notions bag. Alright, I used a skein and part of a skein, the red, to make, the main color, the red. I used Fiesta, which is by Knit Picks Dishy. Here's what the front of the ball band looks like. This is a new to me yarn. It was the first time I ever used Dishy. And would I use it again? Yes, I positively love it. I think I like it better than Lily's Sugar and Cream, although Lily's is still my favorite. Knit Picks is my new favorite. Alright. And here's what it looks like. This is the second skein. So I only have this skein left in the Fiesta. And it's 190 yards, 100% cotton. It's a worsted weight. You guys, hang on. It's warm in here. I gotta turn the ceiling fan on. Sorry. It's like whoosh, warm. Alright, and the second color I used, I believe it's called Flamingo. Yes, it's called Flamingo. And in case you're wondering, here's ball band and the colorway. In case you happen to like it and want to look it up, I have, because I didn't use a lot of it, I have this skein of it left and this skein. So I'm going to put these aside. I have 2 skeins of pomegranate and I believe another color left. I don't know what I'm going to do with the remaining skeins that I have left. I am going to work something up. And if you're wondering what bag they're being housed in, it's my I Love Cupcakes. I won this bag from the contest in Pinhook Needles. And I must say, I believe it was Kate from Knit Nerds that made this. I could be wrong. Callie and Marlisha can correct me if I am. I will tell you, guys, this bag is like the bigger on the inside. I had 4 skeins. I had a total of 4 of these puppies in here. And let me tell you, those little suckers stayed in there perfectly. I had enough room, and I had enough room to put the dish towel in there as I was working on it. Amazing. And if you're wondering what hook I used, did I use the hook they called for, or did I go down a size? Hang on. They called for a size 9, which is a USI, or size 9, which is a 5.5 millimeter. I used US 8, as in happy, or 8 crochet hook, which is a 5 millimeter. And I use I want to say this is by Clover. I could be wrong because it's like a wooden handle. I know some of you were saying that you're having problems, those of you that crochet with your hands, like, because of how the hooks are made. Because they're little and they're round, and after a while crocheting, you're like, my hands. So I want to get more of these. I want to try the Crochet Dudes hooks. But I also have other hooks that I don't want to get rid of them because I do use them and I can't deem getting rid of them just because I want a bigger or fatter, rounder hook for my hand. So what I do with them is, say this was my plain crochet hook. I don't have one handy, but this is just a plain crochet hook, and what I would do is right here, I'll put a rubber band around it, and then I'll shove a pencil gripper, you guys, like, kind of like these, but you can buy them at Walmart or Target or anywhere where they sell school supplies. They have the little pencil grippers. They don't cost that much. Like, you can buy them for your kids to stick on pencils or pens so that it's easier to hold. Excuse me. So what I do is put the pencil gripper on and then put a rubber band at the other end, and then I work on my crochet project. It's just maybe a little quick DIY solution. I mean, I would eventually like to get these in the Crochet Dudes hooks to incorporate with my other hooks, because you can never have enough crochet hooks or knitting needles. Alright, this can go in here and then be put away back in my yarn stash. Alright, and this towel can go back to my gram because she wants to know where her new dish towel is to use. I told her I wanted to wash it. It doesn't need to be washed. I want to use it. Okay, so now she can have it. I promised you she can have all her knit and crochet items once I make my video. Those are all my finished items. This is a half-finished item. I was working on, it's called, I have it under my projects as Stripey Baby Blankie 2. Or it shows Stripely on mine because I accidentally put an L, but it's by Lion Brand. It's a free pattern. And you guys will remember I said I did not know the colorway, or I could not remember the colorway or what brand yarn this was because I lost the ball band. Trying to make sure you guys can see this. Here's what it looks like. It is over halfway done. It resembles the Grammy's favorite dishcloth pattern, kind of. I had a little bit of a deja vu or an epiphany, if you want to call it, when I was in Michael's. I was looking at the yarn because my Gram's like, pick out a skein or two of yarn and I'll get it for you. You do so much for me. You take me here, you take me there, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, so I'm perusing the yarn, and I happened to look at the baby stuff, the baby yarn. And I came across this, so I was like, oh my goodness, that's my yarn. Oh! This is called Loops and Threads? Let me get my raft page up. Yes, it's called Loops and Threads Snuggly Wuggly Baby Sport. And it is in the Pretty Ombre colorway. Well, I made a hat, and I told you guys I made a sweater. Well, the person I made the baby sweater for never came for the sweater. And I'm like, okay, and I repeatedly asked them, I was like, I got the baby sweater, the baby's 2 now. I was like, okay, this person is definitely not knit-worthy anymore, or crochet-worthy. So I frogged a baby sweater. It was a crocheted. I frogged it, added it to the yarn I had. So now, out of the one skein, I made a chemo cap, which you guys seen. And if you're curious, it is on my raft page. But I still did not have enough yarn to finish it, even with adding the little bit to the second skein. This is 2 skeins so far, and I ended up playing Yarn Chicken, which I knew I would lose, but secretly hoping I won, but I didn't. That's how much yarn I have left. So this blankie is going to be going into hibernation till I can eventually buy a skein or 2 of this to finish it off. It is pretty. I do love this yarn. And again, this is in Pretty Ombre by Loops and Threads. It's I want to say an exclusive to Michaels. I could be wrong. It is being knit up on my Chaigu, Nicole. I got Chaigu on the brain today. I don't know why. On my Knit Picks Caspians on US 8 5mm. And it's an interchangeable needle. I'm using the Knit Picks Happy or Rainbow cable. I believe this is the 24-inch. I'm not certain. I think it is. I have to measure it up to my other 24-inch, but that's that. It's going to be going into hibernation until I can eventually get more yarn to finish it off. And then it will just sit in my gift bin until I need a baby blanket or somebody needs a baby blanket, or I may just sell it. So it's going to be sleeping in my I Love Tropical Flowers bag. No, I did not make this. I bought this at a local store, which is called the 5 and 10. So that is that. I will show you guys what I am currently working on. Right now, I only have 2 things on my needles, and I do have an itch for a sweater. You guys would not believe, where I live here in Pennsylvania, it's unusually cool for August. Normally, this time of the year in August, I am hot. It is, like, beyond humid here. Where I live, like, I live in the Poconos, and I'm surrounded by mountains. I look out on my front porch, I see a mountain. I see Mount Pisgah, which is a mountain. I look to my right, I have a mountain. I look to my left, I have a mountain. So we have more of really humidity from the mountains. It's not like a wet, or it's just, I can't explain it. It's not like a dry heat, like Texas heat humidity. It's a very humid, like coming off the mountains. If you ever live like in a tropical, or if you ever live like in the northeast coast, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's humid. But anyways, we haven't had that lately. So I have an itch to put a sweater on the needle. So we'll see if it still stays that way. I'll be able to progressively work in the sweater. If not, it'll stay to like mid-September when it gets cooler. Anyways, I'm digressing. Where is the pattern? Oh, here it is. I am working on a free pattern. It is a free pattern unravel. Let me get all the goodies up. You guys didn't see this before. It is called Afternoon Tea. It is by Helen Stewart. It is published in the Knitty Spring Summer 2012 edition. And it is just absolutely gorgeous. I will show you guys the pattern. No, I won't show you the pattern. It's a free pattern. If you want to see the pattern, you can go to get it up yourself. But I will show you guys a picture. Does it just have one picture? Or does this have 2? No. It just has the one. But here is what it looks like. This is a free pattern on Rav. So I'm not giving anything away. That's just her info, but that's kind of what it looks like. It is absolutely gorgeous. I have to find another picture because this is not doing it justice. It is fairly quick. You guys remember in a previous podcast, I have some mustache from the Mustache Podcast. I have Stacy from the Mustache Podcast dyes yarn. And I have some of her sock yarn. It would be like a sock type yarn. Well, I had some of it, and I said to you guys, I didn't know what to do with it. It was too pretty. It's too pretty. I can't wear it for socks. I do not have the tag, but I know I have the tag somewhere. But anyway. Guys, remember, I'll show it to you. Here's what it looks like. It is from her Ritz Space. I think I know where I have it. Hang on. finished objects and works in progress separate so I don't mess them up. But I'm hoping... Yes, haha, I have it in here. Have it in another project bag. It's her Ritz sock. It is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% razzle-dazzle, 436 yards, 100 grams. I think she changed the logo or the tag, but that's what it looks like. And here is the name of it. I had this in my stash for a while. I absolutely loved it. As I just showed you guys, it was too pretty to make into socks. And I asked you guys, like, I heard a neck warmer, a hat, fingerless mitt, a shawl. And I ran with the idea for a shawl, and I was looking, and I needed to go with the yardage that I had, the 436 yards, because I don't know if she has this dyed up again, or maybe if she could dye it up. I'm sure maybe if I ask her, maybe she could dye it up for me. But I wanted to use what I had in my stash. So I chose the afternoon tea shawlette because I thought it was simply gorgeous. And I am only like 24, 26 rows into it. You may have, if you follow me on Instagram, have seen my work so far. Here's where I am. Nothing like OMG majorly oppressive, but that's where I am at. Oh, I am showing you guys the right side. That's the right side. And this is the back side. I think I chose the perfect pattern for this shawl. I was kind of bummed because of the way the pattern goes. It's like, I think maybe just a knit would make it just look pretty. You could see it. But I was going to rip this out and find another pattern. But then I'm like, no, this is the perfect pattern for it. Because I think it really shows off the colors. So, and if you're wondering what knitting needles, these are new knitting needles. I got them. I made a boo-boo. I got a short cable. I'm probably maybe going to have to eventually switch the cable. I'm going to have to switch them onto a new needle. But they are by Boye, B-O-Y-E. They are US 6 4mm knitting needles. I use knitting needles, guys. Knitting needles with a 16-inch cable. So that is that. I am on row 31 of it. So that's that work in progress. And I am, yes, Marlisha, I'm using my owl pencil case. It's not my Notion case because I think it is the cutest. I love it. I got it at AC Moore if you're interested. I don't know if, I would imagine they'd still have them because it's for back to school. And it's being kept in my I Love America bag. I am eventually going to have to switch it to a bigger bag so that the pattern can nicely fit in there with it. Shame on me, I did not put it into a protector yet, which I think I will do after I'm done chatting with you guys. Alright, my next work in progress, and it is a shawl. It is the citron. Yes, I'm still working on my citron. Do I have a picture of it here? I should. I know I should, because I showed it to my Nana last night. I have another pattern with it, but that's here and there. Alright, this is a free pattern on Rav. And let me get the goodies up before I show you guys. It is the Citron by Hilary Smith Callis, or Callis, C-A-L-L-I-S. It is from, this is a free pattern. It's from Knitty. It's Knitty Winter 2009. It is a free pattern if you guys are interested. Now, there is another pattern by the same designer called Citron Grand, but that's a paid-for pattern. So in case you see two and you're like, Nicole said it was free. Citron Grand is paid for, but Citron is a free pattern. Make sure it says when you're reading it, published Knitty Winter 2009. But here's what it looks like. I think it's just absolutely cute. It's a nice little thing just to have handy. And let me get it up. Oh, let me show you guys. You're probably wondering what yarn I'm using. I am using Baby Soft Canon, or Can-An, C-A-N-A-N, Canon or Can-An. You can please correct me if I'm saying it wrong. Hand knit. It is 100% acrylic, approximately, because Nicole cannot talk today, 330 meters. And it's in pale green. I bought this at Big Lots. In case you're wondering, it's kind of, again, like a bargain closeout. And if you know what Big Lots is, check, because yours may sell yarn now, too. I'm sorry, I needed a drink. That's the colorway. This is the name of the yarn. I absolutely love this yarn. I have 3 more skeins of it. And I will show you guys. Let me get it up. Here is what it looks like so far. I kind of have it looks wonky because I have it stretched out on my cable. But that's what it looks like. I am pleased with it. When you guys saw it last, I was right there where this finger is, right here. And I am all the way up here, and I am going, hopefully I have it here. Yes, I'm going to put a locking stitch marker in it so you guys see the progress I made. This is such a fun little pattern. Once I reread it and figured it out, I love it. I love how you can now see the pattern. I was worried that you won't be able to see it in this yarn, but even you can. It is not as bright as the green as it's showing up. It is a pale baby green, almost like a pastel. No, not even a pastel. It's more like a sea foamy pale green. I love it. I am using my Knit Picks, I believe it's called, is it nickel plated or nickel? Interchangeable needles on my Caspian cable. This is the 40-inch one. This is the sweater length cable. And if you're wondering, like, Nicole, that's an awful big cable to use for that shawl. I went with the big one because of the number of stitches, but that's what it looks like. The knitting needles and the cable. And if you're wondering, I am using my mustache stitch markers. These are by Steph from the Intertwined Stitches podcast. She makes stitch markers, and I absolutely love them. I had to buy some. I went more. Again, this is a fun knit. It is a free pattern on wrap. And I have a feeling I may not even use my full skein of yarn I'm using. Maybe. No, I may end up just using the one skein. Because it's not going to be big. I did not follow the directions for like an increased bigger version. Because Goofy me did not want to sit near the mat. But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with the shawlette. It can keep you warm in case I don't have a scarf or I just want something fancier. And this is being housed in my Puma bag that I got when I bought a pair of Puma sneakers. Alright, you guys. Now, that's all the knitting and good stuff that I have. So, let's move on, you guys. The design bug has bitten me. I want to design a shawl. I want to design my own shawl. However, I don't know how to go about it. I don't know how to design a shawl. I never designed... Wait, I did design one thing, but it didn't turn out at all. I don't know how to design a shot or anything like that, or how you go about it. If any of you guys know, can you help me out? Because I really would love to design one. But I do need some help since it will be my first time ever really designing something. The last thing I came up with was a scarf, which was just real easy. And I never wrote the pattern down because it was something that it was a basic generic scarf. Just simple knit. So, but I never designed anything like that, so I could use some help in designing a shawl. If anybody could or is willing to help me, or if there's any designers out there that watch this and you're willing to help me or give me pointers, I would greatly appreciate it. What have I been doing? Nothing major. I have found 2 to me podcasts I absolutely love. Maybe 3. One is, I didn't watch it fully, like, the first time. Like, I didn't really have time, so I didn't sit there really watching it. But I kept hearing everybody talk about the Bakery Bears. And I was like, yeah, I watched a bit of that, but I liked it. But I didn't fully listen to it because I was listening to it when I was doing other things. So then I was like, let me go back and listen. Everybody keeps talking about these Bakery Bears people. So I went back and I listened to it. And yes, as the fat squirrel would say, I drank the Kool-Aid. In this case, I drank the tea. I had a cuppa. And I sat down watching the Bakery Bears, and I fell in love with it. I love that podcast. I love Kay and Dan and their daughter Bryony. She's adorable. I love the little Bakery Bears. I want to make a Bakery Bear. They are fabulous. They live in England. I love where they go to their favorite places to knit. Like, they've been to abbeys, castles. Dan, Kay, keep it coming. I love the abbeys. In case you guys don't know, I'm a history nerd. I'm a big nerd. I'm a big geek. I love history. I love Egyptian stuff. I love English. I love all that stuff. Just keep it coming. Don't stop. And another one I happen to fall in love with is Dairyland Knits. That is such a great podcast. You guys have to watch it. And I want some of that jam. Hang on, you guys. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure that there was a rap group for it. Yes, it is called Dairyland Knit. And it is by Josh. Josh, I almost accidentally called you Kevin. Sorry. I don't know why. But it is hosted by Josh. I wanted to pause it and look up all the information because, as I said, Josh, I almost called you Kevin. I'm sorry. He is based in Wisconsin, the cheese country. And he talks about canning and jams and all, and you got me wanting to make stuff. Got me wanting to learn how to jam and can and all that good stuff. So yeah, check him out. I need to catch up on all his episodes. I am only on episode 1. I actually found, I don't know if you're watching it, but Josh, I actually found your podcast by YouTube. YouTube brings up, I believe it is recommendations, and I seen Dairyland Knits. I'm like, let me go check this out. This seems interesting. Wonder what it's all about. Checked it out. Love it. And the third one is, I've watched these mother-daughter duo I watched them sporadically for a while I was doing other things, because I listen to podcasts sometimes while I'm either, knitting, crocheting, or if I'm doing housework. So sometimes I really don't watch the video podcast. I may just listen to it. And I sat down, as I said, I was trying to catch up on podcasts. I sat down and listened to them. But Geeky Girls, I love them. It's a mother-daughter duo. It's just a refreshing, wonderful podcast. I love the fact that it's a multi-generational one where they have great rapport with a great mother-daughter relationship. It looks like, I just love that. And I must say that they talk about their TV shows they like. as well as other podcasters do that. And I will say that I love that you guys point out if something is age appropriate for somebody or not. So I absolutely love that. Thank you for doing that. I personally have no children, but it's nice to know if I'm watching something or that you recommend it, and I want to watch it, and I want to tell one of my friends about it. I can tell them whether it's appropriate to have their child around when they watch it or not. So they're like, well, Nicole said to watch this, and then, why can't watch this? Why did you say that, Nicole? That way I can tell them. So thank you guys so much for doing that. As I said, I don't know if I told you guys, but feel free to follow me on any of the sites like Instagram, Twitter, etc. I go by Nikki18229. So I'm going to let you guys go so I can edit this and talk to you guys later. Bye.